Hey there, Mike Petrie. I am so glad to have you join us today. So you and I are both part of Christian Business Partners, which is a Christian business networking ministry. And as I was sharing with you earlier, we recently started a newsletter, and we have one portion of it called the Ministry Minute. And Community Cares was the ministry that was chosen at the last meeting to interview and learn more about this ministry that you're involved with. So before you tell us about Community Cares, why don't you just tell us what you do as your business, and then you can share with us about Community Cares.
Okay, so I am with Petrie Computer Services. We take care of people's computers and networks, and the tagline that is so widely loved is, we'll polish your apples, clean your windows, and make your net work. And I take care of small office networks, usually 5 to 20 computers is kind of my sweet spot, 1 or 2 servers perhaps. Been doing that full-time for about 14 years now.
And then your other passion is Operation Community Cares. And so how long have you been involved with this, and why is it important to you?
So I first got involved in Operation Community Cares in 2008. I had joined the Chamber of Commerce in Rancho Cucamonga, and the founder, Ryan Orr, was promoting it. It's important to me because I never served in the military, so I feel it's really important to support those who do, those who choose to say, we're going to protect you. And so after hearing Ryan talk about it, my family went to the first PAC event that they had after that time. We'd go to the PAC events and help pack the boxes. And then a few years later, there was a year that I was doing pretty well and they were short on shipping funds. And so I donated some money to help with that. And then a little bit later, I got kind of involved in leadership. And then about 2 years ago, Ryan, who now has 4 children that are involved in all kinds of activities, announced that he no longer had the time to run the organization. And so either we'd shut it down and say it had been a good run, or we'd need to find new leadership. And I just have the one daughter, and she was getting ready to go off to college. And so I thought, well, maybe I can make this work. And I really didn't want the organization to die, so I stepped up.
Oh, very cool. I love that transitions, right? We always have to have transitions. Just real briefly, can you tell us about the packing party? Yeah.
Our packing events, we generally have them 2 to 3 times a year. All the large events will be as many as 1,000 boxes that will go out. The name is Operation Community Cares, and the community is really the important part because we depend on the community for the items that go in the boxes. Our November pack date, frequently those items come from a lot of the local schools and businesses. We depend on the community for the funds to ship the boxes. It runs about $20 a box to send them. So when we do 1,000 boxes, we're looking at about $20,000 in shipping. We also depend on the community for the names and addresses that we're going to ship them to. If you have a family member or friend who's deployed in the military, you submit their name and address, and that's where some of the care packages will go. We do occasionally do smaller events as well, but at these large events, the last thing we depend on the community for is the labor. Hillside Community Church in Rancho Cucamonga frequently lets us use their community center. We'll set up all the tables and we'll have one row that's all food items and one row that's all toiletry and non-food items. And people show up and they build the empty boxes and they grab an empty box and they go down either the food or the toiletry line and fill it. Then it goes to our quality control section. They make sure that the box is full and that there aren't things that shouldn't be together. It's kind of a funny thing, but if you have a sealed bag of potato chips and a sealed bar of soap and you put them in the same box, the chips taste like soap. That's why we keep the 2 lines separate. And then after quality control, they get a label and they get stacked up outside, and then you get back in line and do another box. Bigger packing events, we tend to make an event of it in the sense that we'll have a color guard, we'll have somebody sing the national anthem. We usually have some sort of an opportunity drawing. Frequently there'll be a silent auction for a handmade quilt in patriotic colors. We just invite everybody to come, and we schedule generally 8 a.m. till noon, but frequently we'll finish early, or if more donations come in, maybe we run a little bit long, and those are always exciting times.
Do you have a couple of quick stories about some people who have received these boxes and what it's meant to them?
Absolutely. So one of my favorite stories, we were doing a November pack day and my wife makes homemade cookies to go into the boxes. Our vice president, her husband at the time, and he had received boxes on a previous event, and we were going to be shipping some more. He actually called while we were there packing the boxes. And so we held her phone up to microphone so everybody could hear. And he talked about what the care packages meant to them and how much it boosts their morale. And it really got to my wife when he said that his favorite thing was the homemade chocolate chip cookies, because we knew that those were hers. And so she was very excited about that. But we've had people that come back and help us out who are veterans. In some cases, they remember the impact of when they received the packages. In some cases, because they were the guy that never got mail and they don't want somebody else to have to go through that. So they want to help get mail to anybody that they can. And one of the most amazing stories that I heard was somebody who basically said they were at a low point. They were questioning everything and thinking they were forgotten where they were, and they had actually considered ending their life. And as they were going through this low period, they received a care package. And just having some sheets that were colored by some children and some notes of support and, a little jar of peanut butter and some hot sauce, that was enough that they realized they weren't forgotten, and it got them through that low point. So, we may think that it's simple little things like beef jerky and peanut butter and toilet paper and whatever, but it can mean a whole lot more.
Wow. Oh my gosh, as you were saying that story, it's just like I'm tearing up. It's like, it seems like such a simple little thing to us, but to get to somebody at a point, and I've never been in the military either, so you just don't know what it's like to be out there, to be away from everybody and in these circumstances that are not fun, to get one of these at a low point in life. Oh my gosh, how touching. 2020 has been a year, which is when we are recording this video. So have there been any challenges specific to our current times?
Yes, our finances were hit hard. Some of the donations and grants that we've gotten previously did not come through this year as people were dealing with COVID. For 5 years, we had partnered with the Stater Brothers Charities, and they actually did an in-house pack event at their corporate office where they would do about 1,000 boxes each year. And this year, they weren't able to hold that event. And then, as I said, especially for our November event, we usually depend on the schools for the donations. And with the schools not being in, we do still have, I believe, 3 PTAs that are working with us, but we don't know exactly what we're going to get. They're going to be gathering items during November, and we're hopeful that we will have what we need from that. But it's not like usual where they'll do a drive at the school and we come by and pick up the boxes, and it's going to be a whole different thing. We are talking about maybe doing a drive-through event where 1 week people would come pick up an empty box and a flyer with instructions of how to fill it, and then come back the following week with the full box. Our November pack event, like I said, frequently is 800 to 1,000 boxes. This year, we're hoping to get to maybe 150 to 200, and we are uncertain on a lot of things. Our tentative date right now is November 14th, which is the Saturday after Veterans Day, but we don't know where we're going to have it. Hillside Church has not been open to us as yet, and so I'm looking at other locations, other options, but we're hopeful that we will get something together, especially in this time where things are so uncertain. I've really kind of latched on to the idea that every box we send is a box that wasn't going to go without us. And so instead of being disappointed that the numbers are lower, I'm just going to embrace every box that goes out. And in the interim, by God's grace, our May pack event that we normally would have had gotten moved up to February 29th this year. And so we actually managed to have that event before everything got locked down. And since February 29th, our vice president has been filling requests 4 or 5 boxes at a time as they come in. We are still active. We are still working. We do still want people to submit names and addresses. is, but this has definitely been a challenging year.
So based on that, what I'm hearing, at least for whoever's watching this whenever, funds at this point, whether they're from the local community or not, would be beneficial. And then
Absolutely.
who are in the local community to get in touch with you. And how do people get a hold of you if they do want to support this?
So the most immediate way is operationcommunitycares.org, and they can find all the information there. There's suggested items for boxes. There's a donate button where they can donate directly through PayPal. Another way they can support us if they shop on Amazon is they can make us their charity of choice for Amazon Smile. We do get money that way as well. They can reach out to me. My email address is mike@operationcommunitycares.org. And those are probably the best ways. One more thing, since you did mention funding, I just want to be clear. We are an all volunteer organization. Nobody in this organization gets paid at all for what we do. So it's just a labor of love, and we keep our overhead as low as possible. At this point, our monthly average is about $400 a month. And that's for things like our storage unit. As items come in between the pack days, we have to have a place to keep them, our PO box, things like that. We keep the overhead as low as we can so that as much of the money as possible goes directly to getting the care packages to the troops.
So for the CBP community, and we're all over, right? We're California. A lot of it, most of the chapters are in California, but we also have Pennsylvania and now Tennessee. What, in addition to donations, what can we do to help Operation Community Cares?
Well, the donations is an obvious thing, and that can be items or funds. And even with the items, if you do it through Amazon, you can ship them direct to our address. We've had people do that. But the other big thing is the names and addresses of deployed service people. So if anybody watching has friends or family who are deployed, go to operationcommunitycares.org, submit their name and address, and then we will work on getting them care packages. We do have a little bit of lead time, so if they're going to be coming home within a month or so, it's probably cutting it a little too close. But if they're just deploying or if they've still got several months to go, we can probably get them something. The other important factor is just spread the word. Let your friends and family know about us. We don't know what all talents, time, or treasure might be available through somebody you know. Being all volunteer run, the more volunteers we have step up who have a given skill or a given area of expertise, the more we can do. So for example, if we had somebody who wanted to volunteer to find and write grant requests, that would be huge. If we had a volunteer who wanted to come in and be a liaison with local businesses to get a sticker in their window or have them have a donation jar, and we're open to all kinds of partnerships. I mean, I don't want to be limited by my imagination. So the more people we get in with their imagination, the more that we can come up with.
I love that. One of the ways that they could share is wherever they're watching this video, they could share that. Is there another, do you guys have a Facebook group or a Facebook page?
We have a Facebook page. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're either listed as, well, we're always listed as Operation Community Cares, but in many places our handle is a shortened version. It's OpComCares. So OpCom Cares. And that is a great way to find us. If you follow us on Facebook, we try to put all of our events as Facebook events. So you can be up on what's going on through Facebook, and also through the website. You could sign up for our email newsletter.
So in the description, wherever you're watching this, if this is on YouTube or something, can we put a list of things that people can donate, like an order and have shipped directly to?
The easiest way, we can put the link to the website. We have a suggested items page.
Okay.
And they can do that. And then those items can be purchased wherever, but if they do purchase it through Amazon, our address, our mailing address is also on the website, and they can choose to have it shipped directly to us. And then on Amazon, I believe we have a wish list, although that's another area that we haven't had a volunteer, so sometimes it feels a little neglected. And isn't always kept up, especially this year as Amazon had items they discontinued or ran out of or don't ship
Got it.
anymore, whatever. So that's another area we need to go in and kind of clean up.
So if there's any people who love to shop on Amazon all the time and want to update Operation Cares, Community Cares wish list, they should reach out to Mike.
Absolutely.
So Mike, thank you so much for sharing this. I love that passion that you have. Like, you didn't actually serve in the military, but this is your way of serving by serving people in the military. So whether somebody has served in the military and they have a passion for our servicemen and women, you know, this would be a great thing. Or like Mike did, you didn't have that opportunity or whatever reason you didn't, this is a way that you can do that. So thank you for sharing all the ways that we can help.
You're welcome. And just real quick, our tagline is serving those who serve. It ties right in.
You are great with those taglines.
Thank you.